Falling like trees with no one around. Raise our voices together or we won't make a sound.
Raise your
Lift me
voice.
up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Harrison. You know who I am. You're watching NuPath Live. We've got a special treat in store for you today, March 31st. We just finished our legislative forum at 9 o'clock this morning, and we had a number of state reps and state senators join us where we talked about the needs of NuPath, the needs of our families with people still at home with them or residential programs not served, and why we need more money in the budget this year. So take a moment and watch it. You couldn't be there this morning, but you'll be able to see what we talked about and know how we're working for you and advocating on behalf of the people that we serve at NuPath. So enjoy it.
I want to thank Senator Friedman for being here this morning, and of course Representative Sokolo as well, to my partners in WOBURN and two champions of NuPath, and I think the Providers Council generally, as well as the ARC, for the incredible work they do in our district and of course really across the Commonwealth. So thank you both for being here, and colleagues as well. You know, I've known NuPath and the team over there from the top, from Dan Harrison, the CEO, on down, as an organization who loves to bring people together to help understand more about what their mission is, what their needs are, and how we can all work together to provide for folks in the Commonwealth. So, you know, that being said, looking forward to hearing from everybody at NuPath, and I do just want to give my colleagues, both Senator Friedman and Michelle, Representative Sokolo, an opportunity to say hello. Senator Friedman.
Thanks, Rich. Hi, Dan. Hi, everyone. So just want to say hi. Thank you for doing this. I think Rich and Michelle and I are so cognizant of all the work that you do, where I know that it's great pride on our part that NuPath is in our district. And I just want to thank you for everything you're doing and the incredible role you play. And I know these past several years have been incredibly difficult, and you have really stepped up to continue to take care of people who absolutely would be completely lost, and in some cases seriously affected if you weren't around. So we just appreciate everything you do, and I am certainly happy to sponsor this this briefing. So good to see you all.
Thank you so much, Senator Friedman.
Michelle?
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. And I am, like Senator Friedman said, very appreciative of all of the work that you do. And in particular, I think that this briefing is extremely helpful. I know it takes time to put together slides and data and information, and I think that's the stuff that we can use along with telling the stories that you share to further advocate for you. So these briefings are important. It's a good idea that we're, Rich, I'm glad that you're taping this. And again, thank you all for everything that you do.
All right, well, thank you very much. And thanks to everybody else who may be coming on. We're going to get right into it. So we do a weekly broadcast every Thursday afternoon where we have about, between around 100 viewers or so typically that watch. And so we're going to be sharing this with our audience this afternoon. So thank you for your kind remarks. We've already done the welcome. We're going to just do a brief history for those of you who maybe need a refresher or don't know about us. Senator Friedman, you mentioned, the difficult time that we've been through. We call it the perfect storm. We're going to talk a little bit about the impact of that, why it matters. We're going to hear from one of our constituents, one of your constituents, and then we're going to give you some information what we're asking for specifically regarding the budget. And then if there's time, we're going to share a little bit about some of the things that we've been doing to really work more efficiently with the people that we serve. So as far as the history goes, we've been in WOBURN for the entirety of our 54-year proud history. Started in 1968 over at 19 Campbell Street, and we just couldn't get enough of WOBURN. Every time we grew, we moved. It was always to another location. WOBURN has been a magnificent city to be a part of, and so welcoming, and we've really shaped and grown our legacy, our our sort of ethos has come from just a very diverse community that has understood the importance of serving people with disabilities. We have a number of group homes, 20 of them scattered around the cities and towns of Middlesex County. They're beautiful, lovely homes where people live and participate and are part of their communities. And when we think about what happened when the pandemic hit and the perfect storm that ensued, we have certainly experienced the ravages of all of the different impacts. To give you an idea, people served, that is the people that come and receive services. Pre-pandemic, we were serving 375 people. Post-pandemic, or currently, we are serving 276. So it's just over 100 people, mostly from our day programs. You'll be hearing more about this, but these are people that we just cannot get back because we cannot get the staff to support them. Before the pandemic, we had 449 staff. Currently, we are at 338. That's a decrease of 27% of our staffing. These are people that, for one reason or another, left, and we've just not been able to replace them because of the staffing or the workforce crisis. The 7,000 number that you're going to hear about, it's in some of the literature that ADDP has prepared with the collaborative. That 7,000 is the number of people that are currently at home. There are people that are that would before had been going to day programs across the Commonwealth and are now unable because of just the reasons that I've stated. Either they can't get transportation because of restrictions or because of lack of staff. Many of them have complex medical needs, challenging behaviors. So it really is it can be a major problem for them to remain at home. And it puts a huge strain on those people that are living in residential programs, because our residential programs are typically not set up to staff programs during the day. So the 7,000 unserved, they're almost now considered to be kind of part of the waiting list. Going through this whole thing, it made me think about the whole idea of lateral thinking. We used to talk about it. I became aware of it in the 80s, but usually it'd start out with it's thinking outside the box. It starts out with a riddle, like the one well-known one. A man is lying dead with a backpack on, face down in the desert. What happened? And of course, well, I don't know if you know the answer, but there's a reason for it. So taking that way of thinking, I thought, well, let me apply this to another problem that we're facing right now. So using lateral thinking, thinking outside the box, let's find another riddle. Maybe we use something closer to home, like WOBURN, the city of WOBURN. And we say human service agency headquartered in WOBURN has 100 fewer staff post-COVID, but discovers their payroll is 14% higher than the year before. What happens? Some of these bizarre things are things that don't always make sense. So doing some of the margins in the math, we're looking at some of those reasons. So our payroll, which last year was 1.8 million, this year was over 2 million, an increase of 14%. Overtime is another big major impact. Last year was 37,000. This year it's running 150,000 for the first 2 months of the year, by the way. And that's a 307% increase. Our relief, these are the staff that we sometimes have to contract with outside relief agencies. It was 10,000 for the first 2 months of last year. This year it's been 154,000, an increase of over 1,400%. And the tax benefits have increased as well to a tune of 7%. So you can see that everywhere we turn, there are increases. And unlike the businesses that are passing on costs to us, we're not able to pass the costs on as easily. And unfortunately, the only way we can respond is to decrease services, or in the case of these 7,000 people, not provide them, and they're having to stay at home. I know I'm going through this quickly, but I want to give time at the end for questions or if anyone has any thoughts. But Also related to the perfect storm is the other inflationary kinds of pressures that we've been facing, like most citizens in the country. Food is up already 16%. Gasoline is up from this time last year by 116%. And our utilities are up 43%. These things add up and make it difficult to wonder how we're going to manage to get through the end of the year. Thought we'd just take a quick minute to let you hear from Lisa Carrier. She lives in Tingsboro, Mass. She works directly with our employees, with our clients. Welcome, Lisa Carrier. You've been a longtime employee of the organization. How long have you been with us?
15 years.
You were working with our people, helping them in their jobs, your job coaching, you're helping them find jobs, apply for jobs. What is the inflation been like for you? How has it affected you?
Well, it's funny you should ask today. My car is broken down in the parking lot as we speak, and I can't afford to get it fixed. But yeah, I mean, mileage is crazy. Gas is crazy. The transportation issue, you know, with hiring people to do transportation, we've been having to do a lot of our own shuttles, and I drive all the time. I feel like a taxi cab. I'm going to put a little sign on top. It takes away from my time with my people, you know, the part that I love to do.
What would become of the people you support if you weren't there? I mean, can you imagine?
Oh, so I just got goosebumps when you asked me that. They need that support. They need, okay, look at me. What do you need to do? You need to breathe. You got this. You got this. I'm right here. They need us there sometimes. Mm-hmm. And when we're not able to be there, even a phone call away, like we used to be, it has a big impact. It makes a big difference. Please give pause to what we do, who we serve, their value, our value. Please take time to ponder the situation. It's a serious one, and we need help. We need help.
Beautifully said, Lisa Carrier. So Lisa kind of spelled it out, and so has ADDP and the collaborative. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's actually double-sided, so you call it a one-page flyer, kind of spelling out what it is that we're asking for this year. There's 4 top priorities. I just wanted to go through them quickly with you. Brett will be emailing you this if you are posting it or something. If you don't have it, it kind of goes through the statement of need, some of the strong things that I've just shared with you about the increased inflation and all the rest. But the biggest one is the number one budget priority is to increase the Chapter 257 rate reserve by $351.6 million to a total of $581. I know this is a ton of money. It's an outrageous sum of money, but it's what it takes to hire staff in this day and age. I mean, we're competing with Burger Kings and Walmarts and Amazon, and the rate of the rate that went in was based on the 50% for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, and the additional monies would put us at the 75th percentile, which would more or less bring somebody's hourly rate from around 16.79 an hour to just around $20 an hour. And this would help us be more competitive. This would attract a higher caliber of employee to our direct support professional group. And just given the crisis, we think it would really make a huge difference. The second, third, and fourth budget priorities have to do with specific line items. There's a request. We're asking for 51 additional million above the governor's House 2 recommendation to 278 million. And this is going to be specifically to address the need of getting more of some of these 7,000 people back into the day programs. There's a need for additional transportation money and an increase in the adult foster care and the day hab. And this is, we have day hab programs, and anytime we get money in our budget for the CBDS line item or the day program supports through DDS, that doesn't cover our staff that are in the day habs. And it's very difficult to give one group of deserving staff a raise and not another. And this would increase the day hab rates to a level that would be able to allow us to pay those staff additionally. I'm not going to go into it line by line, but at the bottom of the page, there's a breakdown of what the requests are, and for your reference. So you look for that as an aid. Doing more with less, work smarter, not harder. We have taken a stand of late that we believe technology is a human right. When I started in this field in 1988, I can't believe it's been so long. We were talking about, the human rights of being able to have friends and to use a telephone and things that people who had been living in institutions just lacked in their lives. And one of my first jobs was going to the the Hogans and the Fernalds and Renthams and observing people that were living in the wards or the cottages and preparing them to come out to the community. In fact, one of a lot of the policies, DDS policies, were created in the late 80s before there were computers, before there was the internet. I think Ted pointed out that one of them said that it was a human right to have access to stamps and stationery. So we're a ways from that, and we believe that technology is as important and should be considered a human right. And the past pandemic has really put us in a position to understand why that's important. We've recently launched a new website. If you ever have a minute to check it out, we think it's pretty cool. And we list the various ways that we see technology bringing value and bringing resource and bringing opportunity to the people that we support. We'd hear of other organizations that didn't have Wi-Fi in their homes, so they couldn't do remote monitoring that the department wanted to do. And I just think that's reprehensible, that we should be set up for the best. We have a product that we actually have developed. We're using regularly. It's called Navigating Life. It's a system that allows many things. Mobile data collection, but most importantly, it gives families an opportunity to know what their kids are doing during the course of the day, and to give them a sense of feelings of choice. It gives our clients a chance to communicate with their families via video conferencing, all on a very safe, HIPAA-approved platform. And we're going to watch a very quick snippet of a video that's on our website about Navigating Life. We believe that technology is a human right. With Navigating Life, we're able to give families a window into what is happening during a day in the life of their child.
People we support access technology here, and they do it a lot for personal use. We use it with them and for them, and it's a great tool, it's a great platform for families and parents and guardians.
I don't have a whole lot of time during the day. My work schedule is pretty intense, so it allows me to every once in a while go in and check my phone real quick. The app is on my phone. I just press the button there, and I can do that at my leisure anytime during the day.
Technology has provided better information for the people we support. That technology allows us as clinicians to have access to data immediately, and it allows staff to collect data directly through the technology.
With the Navigating Life app technology, we are able to collect real-time data on an hourly basis, and we are also able to get real-time feedback from our clinical team and the management, which enables us out in the field to have a more targeted approach to support the people that come to the program.
I enjoy doing what I do. I think Navigating Life is one of the best tools out there.
Using the technology of Navigating Life has been a beautiful thing. We're connecting families, and other staff are able to get excited about it. I feel like it's something that should be adapted industry-wide.
So we've been through a storm, all right, but we're very glad that the sun's coming out. We feel that with your help, we'll be able to look to brighter days. And we have a little special sort of thank you to all of you for your help in getting there. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I got done way in advance, and I want to make sure that people have a chance to ask any questions. I kind of ran through that quickly, not knowing how long it would take, but Have you guys heard about the ask? Is that something that's been talked about at all, or maybe it has been?
Yeah, I think the rate reserve has been, and there's been a lot of discussion about it. I think everybody's acutely aware of the issues that you and the general healthcare system is experiencing. And so there's a lot of attention. I know there's a lot of attention to that. I just want to say that was a great presentation. You really hit, it was spot on. Well done, concise, lots of backup information for us to look at. Really, you could actually maybe, you could make some money for NuPath if you went out and taught a lot of people and advocates about how to present to legislators, because it was really great and has everything I think I need to continue the conversation in the Senate. So
thank you, Senator Friedman. It means a lot coming from you. I appreciate it. I thought maybe it was a little bit too silly. I like to be entertained even when I'm learning, so I try to do the same for others. I guess legislators aren't any different from the rest of us, huh?
It was great. It was great. So I know about the rate reserve, maybe and maybe Rich and Michelle can speak to what's going on in the House.
I guess one question I would have, Dan, is can you talk a little bit about, when you mentioned about a 25% reduction in the folks you're able to serve right now, do we know where that population is getting serviced now? Is it other organizations? Are
No.
they not receiving services, or can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. No, I talk to their mothers on a regular basis when they call me, begging me to take their children back. These are people that are living at home with their parents and families. One young man that had been attending our program has been home for 2 years since the pandemic hit. And even as she watches our weekly broadcast, she sees other people going back and things sort of returning to normal. Her kid remains home, very medically involved. I think she's had to reduce her work schedule or quit her job in order to keep him during the day. These are people that are living in residential programs with other organizations that are having to staff their group homes during the day. It's the population that is the most involved medically. So these are people that require a lot of medical intervention and would probably be going to day hab programs. And these are people that have got a lot of behavioral challenges, and maybe they'd be one-to-ones, staff for a one-to-one staffing. And the problem with that is that even though we get more money for a one-to-one, we always lose money with the one-to-ones. It's just a fact, because it's the kind of thing where if somebody's out sick or staff is a vacation day, you have to, and you can't just get by for half a day without having somebody with that person. You have to have somebody there. So it either drains resources from others, or it just becomes untenable to do it. So this is the group, unfortunately, that is suffering the most right now. So this 26% or the 101 people that are not back tend to fall into that category. Everybody else we've been able to get back one way or another.
Thank you.
That's really a helpful perspective and an understanding. And as I'm thinking about the budget ask, I'm wondering, are you, with the numbers that you're requesting, it makes all the sense in the world that we need to get the salaries up higher so you can recruit and retain good quality workers. And I hear about this a lot. I sit on the Children and Families and Persons with Disabilities Committee, so we certainly are well aware of the sort of workforce issues. But I guess one of my questions is, with that budget ask, does that assume that you'll be back up to full capacity with the $20+ an hour salary rates that you'd be paying at with the increases?
I believe that was factored in when they did the math on that. I'm trying to, it's a moving target. It's so hard to always know exactly, and even when we're looking at our staff, there's some that are part-time, some that are full-time. You don't always know, and you're trying to calculate that across the entire state. But that is getting us to a point where we be back at capacity and paying a higher wage. The salary thing is so strange. I don't know if you guys I'm sure you must have experienced it, but in every level, the salary compression is a factor. And we realized, about a year ago, when we realized how hard it was to recruit people, we thought, well, the one thing we cannot do is let any more people leave. We've got to make sure that we retain people that are talented, and we're very proud of our retention of our employees. We've got people, a very high retention rate. But it also means then you've got to pay your people what they deserve and not let them think they're going to go someplace else to get a bump in pay. And unfortunately, that's what's been happening. I think we've been pretty fortunate of late to not have many people leave us, but it's just a terrible time to recruit for any position, whether that's in our business office. I mean, salaries have gone up like beyond any thought that I'd ever had that they would. So I don't know where it's going to stop. And employees know it too. When they come in, and if they're qualified, they can, they can pretty much say whatever salary they want. And we're really over a barrel because we have to staff our programs.
Well, and as you said, they deserve it.
That's right. They deserve it. Exactly right. Exactly right. But it's just, when does it stop? And trying to run an organization, it's, we have a responsibility to the people that we serve, most importantly, but also to DDS and to the legislature, where this is the taxpayer money that we're using. And we want to make sure we do it the smartest way.
Hopefully this will teach us all a lesson, right? And I don't think people really understood the incredible crisis that you and all people are serving the most vulnerable. This was not caused by the pandemic. It was just exacerbated by the pandemic. But you've been dealing with this for a very long time. Yeah, and I think finally people may be beginning to understand. And I'd be remiss if I was, if I didn't say there's an awful lot of people that are making an awful lot of money and they aren't helping the most vulnerable. And I think it's our job to remember that people do this job because they want to, and often can't because they can't afford to do it, because they don't get paid enough to live in the greater Boston area. And that's what we have to, our job as legislators is to push that and explain that to people. I do have one last question. You had 3 very good and very large asks. Was that in priority order?
Yes.
Okay, good.
The first
I
priority.
thought it was. I thought it was, but
And if you haven't gotten that flyer, you should be getting it probably soon. So
we probably have gotten it, but
it just landed to you all.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we understood. I assumed that to be the correct, but I wanted to make sure. So thank you.
Thank you all so much for your time today. My dad always say, conclude your presentation early if you can. People will love you for it. It's 9:29, so I kind of was successful for that. And we want to thank you for your interest, your continued support in so many ways. We know you guys support us, and we just can't thank you enough for all you do to help us do the jobs that we're doing for our staff and our clients.
Thanks, Dan, for all your work, and to your staff for giving us the update and for clearly explaining the ask and the importance of the situation. And I know a lot of us are going to do everything we can to try to help. I want to recognize Representative Garbely, who joined us. Thanks for being here, Rep. We also have somebody here from Representative Stanley's office, Representative Belcito's office, and we appreciate them being here as well. So we're glad to keep it tight. We're glad to get the update and continue to work together to help. So thank you all.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. That's a lot of information to get into a 30-minute period, ladies and gentlemen, but we did it, and we got this. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.